Hey everyone, this is Laura Gadenik with Laura Gadenik Astrology, and I'm here to give you the astrology for the time period of October 4th through the 17th, 2021. So just as a reminder, I'm starting to do these astrology videos every 2 weeks, just to kind of minimize the amount of work that it takes to do these videos, and also because I'm really busy in grad school. So in case you didn't get that in the last video, now you know, every 2 weeks I'm doing videos. So starting today, Monday the 4th, we have Mars in Libra making a trine to Saturn in Aquarius. This is a day of strength, persistence, motivation, and pull through. It's likely that if you have something that needs to get done today that you wouldn't normally want to spend your time doing, you'll be able to muster up the energy and motivation to do it and to kind of sustain something and do something consistently. So really good energy for getting some work done, or maybe doing like a workout or something. So Mars is under the beams in the sign of Libra and in detriment. So what I mean by under the beams is that Mars is really close to the sun. So a planet is under the beams when it's within 15 degrees of the sun. Mars is about 2 degrees away. It's going to make a conjunction with the sun on Thursday the 7th. And actually there's a whole host of things going on in the sign of Libra. So Mars is going to make a conjunction with the sun on Thursday the 7th. We have a new moon in Libra on Wednesday the 6th. So basically Mars is conjoining this new moon because it's only 1 day apart. And then on Saturday the 9th, Mercury retrograde is going to conjoin the sun and then Mars. So there's a lot of energy happening in the sign of Libra. Where is that in your chart? If you know what houses or what house is being activated, that's going to give you a clue as to what is wanting to begin anew. So new moons are times of beginnings. They're times of planting seeds, of, I don't want to say necessarily initiating something yet, but kind of like the phase before you initiate, like pre-initiation. It's kind of it's a quiet time, right? It's dark. The moon is dark. It's behind the sun. Its light isn't being seen, and so there's this sense of quietness, of not having the light of the moon to guide us, and really having to rely on your intuition, on your gut, really having to go within. And go within for what? To plant a seed, around something having to do with Libra. So the house, if you know the house, that's going to give you a clue as to what is stirring within you that wants to emerge or start anew or begin in general. And Libra is a sign about relationships. It's a sign about compromise, agreements, terms, commitments. What do you commit to? Who are you committed to? What are the terms and agreements that you have with loved ones in your life, or partnerships in your life, including business partnerships of all kinds? So, Libra is a sign about negotiation, making sure that both parties are content and happy, and compromise, really kind of, how can we work together? How can we meet in the middle? Now, Mars is uncomfortable in the sign of Libra, and that's because Mars is a planet about you. Mars works for you. However, in the sign of Libra, Mars has to work for for two people, for us. It's Libra is an air sign. It's about relationships, other people, making sure things work for not just you, right? So Mars is uncomfortable in the sign of Libra. So instead of fighting to get its way and, putting you first, there's this sense of needing to negotiate something, of needing to compromise, meeting halfway, find some sort of balance with a situation, possibly in a relationship situation. Mars is also a planet about severing and cutting things away, and it rules over knives and things that are sharp, and it is really this idea of kind of, even though it's uncomfortable in Libra, it's still a planet about you. So there might be some sort of sense of needing to cut something away, get rid of something that's not working, but doing it in the most diplomatic, kind way that is possible, and really making sure that how you're showing up in a relationship is working for both parties, because that's really important. And sometimes Libra can have the tendency to sweep things under the rug for the sake of niceties and etiquette and politeness. And so this is the real challenge with all of these planets in Libra, especially Mars, is how can you do what's best for you and maintain your ties with others and maintain relationships with others. So, Mars in Libra asks, what do you want in relationships? And can that work for all parties? What's the compromise? There might be some conflict that's come up about it, where you've had to really remain tactful and diplomatic. Also, Mars being so close to the sun is kind of obliterating Mars's light as a planet. And so there might be something about what you want that is a bit unclear right now. And it will become clear as Mars comes into the heart of the sun. Once again, that's on Thursday the 7th. There might be some sort of insight, some sort of divine knowledge, if you will, that's gained on this day about what you want in a relationship, or just a partnership of some kind, or creatively, a creative collaboration. Libra is a very creative sign. What you want in terms of pleasure, joy. Libra emphasizes those qualities of what's pleasurable and joyful. It's a Venus-ruled sign. So, and then there's that quality of newness with the new moon happening as well on the 6th. New beginnings, new agreements, new terms around what you want. And then so really this is really active, most heightenedly, or kind of most specifically around Wednesday the 6th through October the 9th, which is when October 9th is when Mercury retrograde conjoins the sun. So it's kind of this additional layer of insights, of reflection. If you are a journaler, this is a great time to get out your pen and paper and really dive into your thoughts, into your subconscious, do some automatic writing. And if you don't know what that is, it's really just putting aside like 10 to 15 minutes and just writing stream of consciousness and kind of seeing what comes out. You might be surprised. So yeah, new insights around relationships. However, Mercury is retrograde, so there is that quality of reflecting and reviewing and not necessarily making final decisions or final calls. I wouldn't do that until Mercury is moving direct again, and you might not want to make that kind of final decision or final call until I think it's November 3rd, when Mercury exits its shadow and makes that final square to Pluto. So yeah, this is a real reflective time, and you might have to kind of put out some fires along the way, keep the peace, resolve conflicts. That's Mars and Libra's specialty, is resolving conflicts, really, and being able to see both sides of the coin. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of emphasis on Libra. That house is being emphasized. So these themes of relationship and partnership and joy and pleasure are also going to have to do with the house where it's in. So if this is like, for example, the 11th house of friends, groups, and communities, this might be a relationship or partnership of some kind that involves a community that you're a part of, or a group you're part of, or perhaps a friend. If this is the 4th house for you of home, family, ancestors, it could be a family member that you're having to negotiate with or compromise with. Yeah, there's a whole host of possibilities of how this might turn out. If this is like ninth house for you, then it might be like, if you're in school, for example, it might be negotiating, compromising, putting out a fire, with someone that you go to school with. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities for how this might show up. Okay, and then within all of this, very randomly, that kind of doesn't, well, actually it is important because Venus rules the sign of Libra, which is where all of this action is happening. Venus heads into the sign of Sagittarius. This is good news. At least I think so. Venus has been in Scorpio for the past several weeks, which has really helped us to dig up the muck in our relationships and partnerships and have those hard conversations, have those hard talks. And it's been intense, especially, with all this Libra action, with Mercury and Libra having made that square, that 2-week square to Pluto as it stationed retrograde. Things might have felt kind of urgent or like a crisis that you're having to kind of manage or maintain the peace throughout, maintain a level head, right? It's been intense. The past couple weeks have been hard. And so Venus heading into Sagittarius is a sigh of relief because Venus is no longer in her fall in Sagittarius. She feels, pretty neutral in the sign of Sagittarius. And I would say even pretty good because Sagittarius is a Jupiter-ruled sign, which is another benefic, a planet that promotes ease, opportunity, well-being, generosity, etc. So Venusian things should be getting better. Things will be more lighter and more fun, especially in relationships. So this is interesting because this is happening. Venus is going into Sagittarius on Thursday the 7th, the same day that the Sun and Mars conjoin and where all this kind of Libra action is happening. So I really think that, whatever happens with this new moon in Libra, the Mars conjoining the Sun, and then Mercury retrograde conjoining Mars and the Sun, it's going to require some tact, some diplomacy, thinking about what you want, reflecting on that, possibly putting out some fires or severing something away, being kind of firm in that. However, I think it should go rather well, rather smoothly, should be, more lighthearted because Venus, ruler of Libra, where all of this is happening, is heading into Sagittarius on the same day. So there's going to be a sense of generosity, of mercy, benefit of the doubt, play, fun, faith. So, and there are circumstances where it's going to be more difficult for some than others, depending on how this is landing in your chart and what other aspects are being triggered. But overall, it should be, I think, moving us in a more positive direction in our commitments with others. Okay, so yeah, this week is kind of the big week out of these 2 weeks. That's kind of a lot that's already going on. Sunday the 10th, Saturn stations direct at 6 degrees of Aquarius. And then also Jupiter, which is also in Aquarius, is stationing direct on Sunday the 17th at 22 degrees of Aquarius. So if things have been feeling a bit kind of chaotic or like they've been going backwards in your Aquarius house, they should start to improve with these planets starting to move forwards again. Things are moving forward again, which is good news. Okay, Friday the 15th of October, the Sun in Libra makes a trine to Jupiter in Aquarius. And this is a really positive aspect. Something positive is being illuminated, maybe an opportunity, maybe a connection with someone that can help get you somewhere. Could just be a day of optimism and faith and inspiration and mercy, if there's been tension with anyone, just like a really positive, good energy kind of day. And on a more mundane level, there could be something that's being illuminated, because that's what the sun does. It brings light to something. And in this case, it's something positive. Something in positive, I should say, involving your Libra house and your Aquarius house. Okay, Sunday the 17th, the sun makes a square to Pluto. Once again, the sun's job is to illuminate, to bring light to something, and Pluto is everything that we have buried. So there is something about the illumination of something that's been hidden. There's going to be some qualities of digging or excavating. And remember, we had Venus square Pluto in Libra a couple weeks ago. I think that was on September 7th. And then we had Mercury square Pluto for about 2 weeks as it was slowing down to station retrograde. So this sun square to Pluto is probably along the same lines, along the same theme, as was kind of dug up in early September. So the story's not quite finished. This is kind of another piece to it. And if you know your Libra house and your Capricorn house, that's where Pluto is, this will give you some insight around what is being excavated or dug up, and also thinking back to those dates. When did Mercury station retrograde? It's basically been like the past 2 weeks that Mercury has been retrograde and square to Pluto. So yeah, that is the astrology for the upcoming 2 weeks. I might have missed like one minor aspect, like a sextile or something, but I'm kind of trying to focus on more of the big picture themes here rather than all the little things. So yeah, that is the astrology for the next couple weeks. There's a lot happening. Definitely get out your journal, do some journaling, do some writing, really be honest with yourself about what's coming up. And if you're curious about how this is showing up in particular in your chart, I'm always happy to do a consultation. And I will be back in 2 weeks for another astrological update. And I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks. Bye.